Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully we're all feeling pretty good coming off of that first exam, though understandably some of you probably aren't feeling too hot. Anyway, since we did just have our exam, I'd like to give us a little bit more time, get a little bit of a breather here. We're only covering 2 sections as we move into Chapter 3, where we are starting into the idea of probabilities, which means more numbers. Sorry, everybody, couldn't avoid that forever. Anyway, in 3.1, we're going to be setting the basic ideas and notations for probability and counting. We're going to be looking at things like what a probability experiment actually is, defining our types of probability, some of our basic counting rules, and really setting the stage for what we're going to be working with through the chapter and beyond. Then in 3.2, we're going to look at one of our important special cases, which is what's called the multiplication rule, where to understand the multiplication rule, we first have to set some ideas of what is called conditional probability, that is, looking at whether or not something requires a different thing or something affects a different thing. Then we get into ideas of independent and dependent events before finally actually getting to define the multiplication rule for handling cases where we want multiple things at once. We want to deal with the word and. Anyway, for this week, we have our more or less normal set of things with one addition, where we're going to have a worksheet to practice with these things. It's going to be due on Friday. We have deadlines in MyLab for these sections as homework assignments due next Tuesday. And then on next Monday, we have our what would that end up being, 4th or 5th pre-assessment. I can't always count despite what this section is on. But along with that, we do also have our first chance to get some extra credit from our exam score. Again, I'm not super crazy about mentioning extra credit, but since this is the first one, I want to be clear about it, that on Monday we also have the Exam 1 challenge problem that's due, where this is going to be a pair of problems. You pick one that are either more difficult than what I might put on an exam or more open-ended. So leaving room for something that takes a different skill set than just plugging things into a calculator. So you'll have those options if you want to improve your exam score. That's going to be due next Monday with the pre-assessment. Until then, though, let's get to work here with some of the basics of probability.